Today I came up here to Bob Marriott's shop to talk to people about the simplicity of the shark fishery and let people know that although we are big game hunting, an amazing predator of the ocean, it can be an introductory guided trip. You don't have to be the best angler in the world to come out and have a shot at a mako shark possibly over 100 pounds.
This is how you're going to spend a big part of your day. This is one of our Triton LTS boats. This is my buddy Conway here and a couple of his clients. We encroached on him for a quick photo op. This is a big part of your day. I call this the hurry up and wait. Shark fishing is really exciting part of the time. The rest of it is building anticipation. Hurry up and wait. You've got to hunt these fish down. The neat thing about hunting these sharks down is the whole time you're looking for them, once you get that chum in the water, they're looking for you. They're just as glad to see that chum as you are to see them show up, which makes it pretty exciting. When they come to the boat, you can see there's a couple of buckets of chum here hanging over the side, and you can kind of tell this part of the water is a little bit glassier than the rest of it. When you're on the water, it's much more apparent, the actual slick in the water. Our boats are all between 22 and 24 feet long. This is how we seal the deal. This is what keeps my fingers intact. Nice long release gap. Punch that hook right out of the corner of his mouth. I do use barbless hooks, whether we're fishing fly or the occasional conventional tackle hook with circle hooks. We still go barbless on those. Not only for the ease of removing the hook and for the convenience of the fish being able to swim away, less worse for wear, but it's easier to set the hook. Having to pierce that cheek, there's a lot of meat in there, and there's a lot of bone structure, a lot of teeth. So for that point to be able to penetrate all the way through the corner of his mouth, it's much easier with a barbless hook. And once you get it all the way through, he's not going to shake it out. I mean, you're talking an 8/0 hook. The gap on that's about 1.5 inches. So you get that thing sunk in the right spot in the corner, it doesn't matter if it's barbless or not. He's not going to get away. Back to the hurry up and wait. You can see heading out onto the horizon here, nice shiny chum slick. This is Tim Rajeff and one of his cohorts shooting a TV show. We're about 10 miles into Mexican water, which for us is extremely uncommon. One of the great things about the San Diego shark fishery is the near-shore canyons, the topography. San Diego is a very unique area in that you don't usually have to run 10 or 20 miles to find these fish. We have spots 2 miles off the coast. You're in 200 fathoms of water. That's 1,200 feet. These fish like ridge lines. They like canyons. They like structure, pinnacles, things like that. And the reason they like that kind of stuff isn't because marine hovercrafts. It's because of bait fish. Buttershot. This is about a 300-pound mako sneaking up on our teaser right here. This is a mackerel head that was just cast into the water. He's about to be teased to the rod tip of the angler on the boat. This photo was shot by our buddy Decker. Got a poster of it on my wall in my house. This is another good shark focused on the teaser. This one has a little a marlin lure skirt slid over it. Same thing. Underneath that is just the head of that mackerel like you saw in the last photo. When it's hot and heavy in the summer and we're having 10 shark days, we usually keep about a half dozen of these teasers rigged up when we're leaving the dock. Unfortunately, with the fastest conventional reels on the market, my reflexes and my reel aren't as fast as the kick of his tail. We end up donating a few skirts and mackerel heads, especially in low light conditions. They sneak right up on it. These fish are extremely explosive, and once they get honed in on something, I mean, you see he's about 1/4 of a tail kick for stealing that one. My buddy Lou Galvin hooked up that fish that was teased up. Lou cast the fly behind the shark. When I pulled the teaser away from the shark, it turned around immediately and hammered Lou's fly there. Good fish. Here's another one, and this was a sequence of shots. You can see I cast the teaser originally out here, and this fish turned on a dime. This all happened in about 2 seconds, and that's about 20 feet right there. They're explosive. Once he sees that thing and reacts to it, he wants everything to do with it. getting it away from them can be quite a chore. And getting the fly to them, now you see your ballpark here. Once you cast that fly out, it doesn't have to be on a dime 70 feet into the wind. You're talking a 30-foot shot with a 10-foot accuracy, right? It can be anywhere within a fish and a half length of that fish, and he's going to react to it. I've had a 9-year-old kid catch a mako on the fly all by himself. It took 5 takes. The thing ate the fly 5 times. The youngster had only caught bluegill with his dad in a pond, so he was rod setting. You ain't going to set the hook rod setting, but these are angler-friendly fish. They like to eat. They like to bite things, and they're not used to things getting away from it. So you can see he's willing to do tricks and move around out there for you, chasing things. So bait, close proximity to shore. This is all mackerel. This is nothing bigger than the flies we're throwing, but there's an abundance of it. Year in and year out, we see big schools of mackerel following the schools of anchovies. Occasionally you get bonita mixed in. Then we catch some bonita, let a few of those go, let a few of them go in the chum bucket with some machete chops in them, and they turn into our chum. But it's not uncommon to head out 4 or 5 miles to the first drop-off outside of San Diego, where it goes from 50 to 100 fathoms, and see sites like this. And what we do is we set up away from the action. If you got right in the middle of this, you're not the only show in town. You have competition. There's other scent in the water. So as you're heading out, if you see this, yeah, there's going to be a shark there. But there's going to be a lot more sharks heading there. Cut them off before they get there, right? Get a mile above this and start laying that chum slick out. This is going to disperse. This is going to go down. This is typically morning action. So you don't want to go right where it's at and sit on it. Once it's all gone, you're there and everything's going away. If you play your current and set yourself up to drift into action like this, you're going to find you're going to encounter more sharks. They can feel this, they can hear this, they can sense this from a long ways away. So cut them off as they're coming to it. Now you've got them focused. Now you're the only game in town. If you are chumming and this comes up around you, you're going to find that you're going to lose shots. That shark's going to come in on your chum, and then he's going to see a big school of mackerel and he's going to chase it away. He's not going to stay focused. It's kind of odd to think that you wouldn't start right there, but trust me, they're coming to it from far away. So it's better off to get just a little outside of that zone. And a lot of times what you'll find, this isn't only in one spot, it's in the same depth all the way up the line. If this is occurring in 40 fathoms off of Point Loma, it's probably occurring in 40 fathoms 5 miles up the line off the La Jolla Canyon if the conditions are the same. So you get on the edge of that and you set up and kind of ease into it. You'll pick fish off before you even get to the bait. We do use many different type of leader configurations. This is a double bimini. I don't kill any sharks. I've never harvested a single one. I don't keep fish for records. But if you're an IGFA buff, if you wanted to catch one on IGFA spec rigs, we can do it. All of our captains know how to rig for IGFA specs. I have released fish on 16-pound that were pushing the standing record. I think the standing record right now is still held, to my knowledge, by Steve Abel. And his fish on 20-pound is shy of 200 pounds. But that's a remarkable feat considering that weak link right there. If we fished IGFA spec all the time, I don't think Umpqua could keep up tying these shark flies fast enough. They're not conducive to that rig because their fins stick out really far, and those are line busters, man. 20-pound doesn't last very long with that rough shark skin. And gear. Everybody that likes fly fishing loves gear, right? So here's a bunch of big flies. You can see we mix it up a little, throw some popper heads on them. Makes it fun. This is a hand tie instead of a commercial tie, just a little bit smaller. Still on about 90-pound single strand wire here with a big 8/0 hook. It's a Tiemco 600 XP is the hook of my choice on most of my shark flies. I do occasionally go down to a 6/0, but 8/0 seems to be money for finding that soft spot in the corner of their mouth. It's got a good wide gap to it. Another nice blue shark shot. Big snout, big fins. This fish is about 200 pounds. Little rodeo at the side of the boat. The last hurrah, and off he goes. Got the release cap out, the wire in hand. He spit the fly right as we got him to the side of the boat. So the only downside of this is you're not picking him up for a photo, guys. This is it right here at the side of the boat. So bring a friend, even if he doesn't like to fish, bring somebody to hold the camera, the video camera, and you can capture the moment.